Hey there, everybody. March 19th. Thanks for joining me here if you're joining me live. As many of you may know, my main YouTube channel is back up and running, so I'm able to upload there again. But my live streaming on that channel is still disabled, and it's going to be disabled for another couple months. So, in the meantime, what I'm going to have to do is do these live updates on my backup channel here, and then what I'm going to do is download them and then re-upload them to my main channel, or I'll find a way to get them out there. But regardless, you'll find these news updates here. You'll find them on my main channel, BitChute, DTube. You'll find them. Just if you want to watch them live, you're gonna have to subscribe it to my DTI 2.0 channel in the meantime. But to get back into the swing of things, I don't think I've done one of these in a few days. We're going to go over the last few days in Q posts, and then, of course, I have a bunch of articles that we're going to roll through. But first, I want to talk about the Schumann resonance. So if you track the Schumann resonance, you can see here that we've had some blasts the past couple days. So if you've been feeling different, whether it's higher energy, lower energy, just feeling a bit off, this might be a reason why. If you don't know what the Schumann is, once this video is done processing and I can add some cards in, I'll make something pop up one of these sides and link you to one of the first videos I actually really ever did on this channel like a year ago on the Schumann resonance. But basically, it's just electromagnetic waves. It's a resonance of the Earth, and it entrains our consciousness, our brain waves to it. So when there's big blasts of Schumann, that means we're getting bathed in this resonance, and different conscious effects can take place. But anyway, I'm going to link this site down below if you want to bookmark it and track the Schumann. But now let's talk about some Q posts. So the one I'm going to start from is from March 15th here, and that's this guy. I hope you can see it. I'll zoom in a little bit. And the notable drops that I see in this post on March 15th is down here saying, "We have the sub," and "hostage release." And what this makes me think of is that missing Argentina sub. If you guys remember that missing Argentina sub from December, it was really in the news and then it kind of faded out of the news. When I was looking back at this topic, typing it into Google and going through the news stories, it seems like the media was trying to say that the crew of the missing sub died instantly and pick shows last moments. So it's as if they're saying this sub is gone and the investigation's done and case closed, but I'm actually seeing nothing evidence-wise of the sub being found. So, it could be such that they're just killing it off in the media, but the sub really was never found. And I just wonder if there's some kind of connection between Q's post here and that Argentina sub. Plus, if you know about real history, you know what kind of Nazi influences that have really gone on in South America over the past 5, 6, 7 decades. So, hey, is this Argentina sub linked to some kind of rogue Nazi faction, and they're the ones who took this sub and they're using it to blackmail or something to that effect? Because it says right here, hostage release. So, hey, deep state, taking some people hostage with this sub. Oh, great. Q Group has the sub now. So, and then this last one here, it says 1,000 pieces. And of course, John F. Kennedy, one of his famous quotes says, "I'm going to take the CIA," and quote was what WikiLeaks used to release Vault 7 with. So connections right there. You're seeing the alliance in action. And now let's move on to this next one. Kind of a long one here. This was from 2 days ago, March 17th. And it says, "How bad is the corruption?" Far worse than many people realize. Then he names some numbers: FBI, number one, number two, past and present. So this could be very well meaning the current or past head of the FBI, Comey, and whoever was before him. And then number two being McCabe, the plus 29 and 16. Not really sure. I've seen some people speculate as maybe there's 29 bad actors in the FBI. Are 16 of them indicted? Does this mean how many indictments? The 29? Not necessarily sure. Department of Justice, number one, number two, State Department, number one, John Kerry and whoever else there. The names of these people is slipping my mind right now, and I don't have my list in front of me. But yeah, that it's obviously referencing who used to head these departments, and then removal is the least of their problems. What's the most of their problems? Gitmo, military tribunals, death penalty, right? Projection. Everything you're seeing in the media right now is a complete 180-degree spin. It's a complete projection, right? Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels. Accuse those who you were against of that which you were guilty. So there's all this Russia bullshit going on right now. Well, right here, Russia is actually, it was the Democrats and the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton group, colluding with the Russians. Twitter bots. They ain't Russian. Twitter bots are owned and operated by Google itself. It could very well be. And I'm not sure, I wish I had the picture to show you, but over the weekend, there was looked like to be a whistleblower from Google that went on to 4chan and was stating that there were actually some algorithms made by Google to make it look like humans or Russian bots, and a bunch of mind control going on Facebook and Twitter and whatnot with these algorithms. Biden, China, big development, traders anywhere. America for sale. Flynn targeted why? Who knows where the bodies are buried? And I saw a picture. Somebody made this picture right here. Let me expand it so you can see. And they took this True Pundit post by Thomas Paine and then linked that to some of these Q drops. Kind of shows some connections and some groups who could very well be alliance connected. But check it out. Thomas Paine said, I think he is gearing up to name names regarding to Mike Flynn. Flynn's confidant said he knows where many political bodies are buried in D.C. Well, look at all of these Q posts for months now, all the way back to October 31st, asking how many times and who knows where the bodies are buried, who knows where the bodies are buried. Flynn is safe. Who knows where the bodies are buried? Flynn, this is from March 17th. This is from November 24th, December 5th, October 31st. So Flynn's confidant saying that. Now again, you're getting more of a glimpse into the connections, into who is a part of these white hats, who is in this alliance, right? And future is, of course, proving past with that. Let's see here, back to current Q posts. We're going through next week, boom, 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 Q. Boom could be referencing many different things. I just watched a good video this morning by, I can't remember the channel, but the guy was looking into a company called Boom and how there could, this company apparently made Boeing's autopilot programs and their laws, and how this Boom could be referencing them. Because, of course, Q's been stating 7 out of 10 plane crashes are taken down, not accidents. I wish I had that video in front of me. If I find it, I'll link it again in one of those cards, whatever side this pops up. I always get like the wrong side when I point, so I'll point at both of them. It'll show up somewhere up there. But boom could just mean that boom, fireworks are coming soon. Next week, Q is saying, which is this week, and U.S. Marine Corps activated US-3. Not exactly sure, but maybe somebody somewhere needed some protection. Maybe, of course, some people are getting arrested. I've heard chatter. No direct evidence. Mind you, no direct evidence, but there is chatter of John Podesta being arrested and in custody somewhere. And he hasn't tweeted for, I think, a week now, like a week and a half, which is a pretty long time. So, and of course, panic mode. McCabe fired hilariously right before his pension. Now there's a bunch of bad actors, I'm sure, lining up to offer him jobs to save his pension. But I'm sure an indictment is more likely than a job in Andrew McCabe's immediate future. If you saw this poll, check out this poll. And funny enough, Politico is where I found this poll. And amazingly enough, it seems to be more truthful, at least more truthful than I would expect to come out of Politico. but it actually says majority believe deep state manipulates U.S. policies. According to a Monmouth poll released today of 800 adults polled, approximately 47% said that a deep state probably exists, and 27% said it definitely exists. So this is literally a majority of America, 3/4, saying, yeah, deep state probably exists, if not definitely. And only 16 said it probably doesn't, and 5% said it definitely doesn't. So 5%, what that looks like is, remember, Q saying 4 to 6% of the country is just irreparably damaged. They're just gone beyond belief. 5 is interestingly right between that. But point being here is that a lot of people believe in the deep state, and amazingly enough, Politico is reporting that most people, yeah, think it exists. Totally. Good news there, actually. And it's pretty funny. They were comparing Republicans and independents and their view on that, and then Democrats' view on that. But moving on, Washington Post, featuring them quite a bit in this one, because they're probably one of the worst news outlets there are. Nearly 5 years in prison for a man who drunkenly threatened the deep state. So, still on that deep state topic, they're saying a man who threatened to attack the CIA and State Department, contending they were part of a deep state, will spend nearly 5 years in prison. He was a 36-year-old dude out of Virginia, and he was apologizing, saying that he was very drunk, and while he was very drunk, he would come up with wild theories, blame others for my problems, and write angry remarks on the internet. In a letter he wrote to CIA officials included in the court file. So, don't know whether this guy was mind controlled to do that, to make for a perfectly convenient news article, and looks like court proceedings here, or who knows what the case was here. But hey, man, that is just very convenient for them to use for their agenda. Don't get drunk and write crazy things on the internet, kids. And then this one here, again by WAPO. Trump is reportedly hiring a conspiracy theorist for his legal team. There's that term again, conspiracy theorist. That's the new slander word, you know? Here's what Joe DiGenova has said. And I remember featuring this guy on news reports before because of the truth he was putting out. And their Washington Post here is calling him a conspiracy theorist because he was a proponent of the FBI, saying that they're trying to frame Trump and the wiretapping issues and whatnot. DiGenova said, make no mistake about it, a group of FBI and DOJ people were trying to frame Donald Trump of a falsely created crime. So because this man is speaking truth, they're going to call him a conspiracy theorist and try to character assassinate him for getting on Trump's legal team. And hey, if this guy is getting on Trump's legal team, good news. Things are progressing. Trust the plan, right? One last thing by Washington Post, and I don't want to talk about them ever again. Check this out. DC lawmaker says recent snowfall caused by Rothschild controlling climate. And I'm not going to play the video here for copyright concerns and whatnot, but this is a video that this DC council member posted when he was just going through traffic. It was about a 20-second video, and he's legitimately calling out climate control created by the Rothschilds. It was, just look at, I don't know, I'll post this down below just so you can watch this video. Amazing truth coming out of that dude. And, you know, he was a registered Democrat. Jeez. So that just goes to show you that, hey guys, don't just hate liberals because they're liberals or because they're Democrats. They can start waking up to the truth as well. Anybody can. One of the things that's really been grinding my gears lately is watching people who like to label themselves as conservatives just hate and shit on all over liberals, and there's absolutely no common sense or compassion being thrown around with trying to wake people up. It's just all this division. You know, people want to act like they're so woke and they see what's going on, and yet their actions are just completely shut-eyed, completely asleep. But anyway, this Democrat here is speaking some damn truth, and he gets shamed for it. Look at this. So, lawmakers sorry for spreading anti-Semitic weather conspiracy, and this went all around the mainstream media. Poor guy, right? He just got shit all over by the mainstream. It's very reminiscent of that. What was he, a HUD assistant? Just a few weeks ago, he was getting called out in the mainstream for talking about Pizzagate. They were tweets from like months ago, and the mainstream just shit all over him for mentioning Pizzagate in an old tweet. Same thing happened to this guy. He lets one little piece of truth slip, something that's way too sensitive to be in the mainstream, and they go into control mode. And poor guy, he unfortunately apologized. He was probably forced to for PR concerns. And here's what what's amazing is that in this video, he didn't say the word Jew once. He didn't even mention Jewish faith or religion or anything. But in the slander that went around the mainstream, they were calling him anti-Semitic, saying that he's going on anti-Semitic remarks. And just because the Rothschilds happen to be Jewish, oh, he's anti-Semitic, he hates Jews, yada yada. Do you see the mind control there? Do you see the psyop, the game? He didn't even say Jew once in that video. But of course, they're going to conveniently use that for their mind control mechanisms. And, the Rothschilds are actually more Zionistic than true Jewish. I don't know if you've seen the videos of people, Jewish people, actually celebrating the fact that Zionism is being exposed. The deep state is being exposed, right? Rothschilds aren't true Jews. And yeah, it's it's amazing that a lot of people are even getting caught up by that. I'm seeing some, what do we want to say, conservatives on Twitter who have tweeted about the deep state and whatnot, falling for this whole like anti-Semitic nonsense, the game right there. Moving on to the last few things I want to share with you though. This article by Forbes saying YouTube's conspiracy theory problem is its own, not Wikipedia's own problem. So YouTube is still in the news and trying to combat their conspiracy problem. And then this right here on TechCrunch, YouTube is reportedly introducing your kids to conspiracies too. Really trying to do some damage control. So this is talking about how Business Insider, not done with Business Insider, I'm going to feature an article of theirs next, but Business Insider was saying that they did an investigation and they found that kids' videos had recommended videos preaching about nonsensical ideas, including that the world is flat, the moon landing was faked, and the planet is ruled by reptile-human hybrids, according to Business Insider's own first-hand findings. Quick note on that. Those are all not even true. It's complete bullshit. There's a lot of disinformation planted out there just to make truth seekers look bad. For instance, the world being flat and the moon landing being faked, and reptilian human hybrids ruling the planet. I won't get into that too deep here, but they're not human hybrids. There's very specific pieces of data that are specifically not true that they throw out there to confuse and to conveniently character attack. But anyway, I like the next line here. It says, in fact, when BI searched for UFO on YouTube Kids, one of the top videos to appear was nearly a 5-hour lecture by David Icke, who covers everything in the clip from reptile bloodlines to Freemasons to all this stuff. The Freemasons also killed President John Kennedy, he tells viewers, which, to specify, maybe it wasn't the Freemasons. Maybe it was just rogue intel agency factions. Not all Freemasons are necessarily negative in nature. There are some, but not all. Not all secret societies are evil. It just depends. I would say the ones in the FBI and the CIA might be. But anyway, let's move on to Business Insider. So Check out this article. It just came out 3 hours ago. What the I in every conspiracy theory actually means. And luckily, this article only has just over 1,000 views because it's completely ridiculous. You know, this video has just about that many live viewers now, so that's good. People are searching for the truth more than BS on BI. But this article is so bad, they're actually saying that I, the all-seeing eye, it means that it was a symbol that the Freemasons were used to believe that they were anointed from God. It's the all-seeing eye of God they were talking about. And in this video, again, I'm not going to play it for copyright reasons, but there was a man they had. It was this guy, this gentleman. He was talking about how it's not actually a nefarious, a negative secret society symbol. When horse shit, yeah, it is. That's exactly what these deep state factions do, is that they take innocent symbols, such as the pyramid, and that all-seeing eye, that actually means your third eye, really, esoterically, but they take these symbols and twist them for nefarious reasons. Pyramid, all-seeing eye, the Eye of Horus, what else? Lots of different symbols, right? Pizza, man. Used to love eating pizza. Can't do it so much anymore. But same thing, right? They take these innocent symbols and subvert them for their own bullshit. They reverse anything good, somebody just commented. Totally. And then, in one piece of this, it actually said, the truth is, if you're pulling off a grand conspiracy, reading right here, the idea that you want to do this in secret, you don't want to be caught, you don't want to put out clues, it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. So they're basically saying that, well, if these conspiracies were actually going on, you know, they would keep it secret. They wouldn't put it out in plain sight. Well, yeah, they would. They would absolutely put it out in plain sight. Makes perfect sense, and they would do that for many reasons. A few of the reasons: one, it's plausible deniability. If there's something out in a movie or something like that, and then somebody starts talking about these conspiracy theories, it's easy to deny because, oh, you just got that crazy conspiracy from this movie or this show, right? So there's one reason. Second reason is much deeper, but it involves cosmic law and karma. So there's this thing called free will that we all have, and every single being in this universe has to abide by free will, both benevolent and malevolent beings. So these groups, this cabal, what they have to do is still abide by free will. They do so with various black magic techniques. One of those involves putting the truth in plain sight. So when they put the truth in plain sight, that's basically them saying, we're offering you the truth, humans. You can choose to reject it, you can choose to see it, but we're giving you the truth. And the fact that society is choosing to reject it and look away, well, then no free will is infringed and no karma gets turned. That karma wheel doesn't spin, right? But the fact that people are waking up en masse right now and beginning to stand in their own sovereign power is they're standing up for their own free will, and they're not letting themselves be infringed. So that's turning the wheel of karma. You see, goes very deep, but basically, yes, it's because of these reasons of free will that they put the truth in plain sight. And lastly, just because they're arrogant assholes, it's some sick ego trip that they think us humans to be sheep or swine to them. And they do this and put the truth in plain sight just to laugh at us and feel so much superior and call us all idiots. But lastly, zero hedge. Let's move on to the opioid topic. Trump loses the drug dealer vote. Death penalty will be a part of White House opioid response. Good news. And that's one of the main ways that the deep state makes their money. This topic of Trump or in this administration going hard on the opioid epidemic is one more piece of proof that they are battling the deep state. And that is because the deep state makes a shitload of money off pharmaceutical industry and off trafficking of drugs, opioids. And, why else did we go into Afghanistan? $1 trillion of lithium over there, but shit, how much did opium production go up once we invaded in 2003, right? Some like 2,000%. So combating the drug trafficking trade, not only black market, but, legal market too. Combat versus the deep state. And then lastly, let's talk about some of these guys selling off their stocks. Mark Zuckerberg sold $400 million of Facebook shares this month, and those are just part of plans to unload up to $12 billion. Does he see the writing on the wall? Panic mode. And not only that, but this skipped my my researching a couple weeks ago. Check this out. Rothschild chairman to hand bank's dynastic reins to son. So David de Rothschild, the head of the Rothschild Bank, is stepping aside as chairman of that bank this summer to pass the reins on to his son Alexander in a long-awaited changing of the guard at the Franco-British Investment Bank. So I didn't even see this one, but I just get the feeling that this is big news. I mean, we could add this to the CEO executive resignation list. Rothschild stepping down. Some people are saying old news, but it's new to me. And, I'll still go through news that's new to me and that I come across because I'm sure there's at least some people out there that might not know it. But hey, guys, that's big. And hey, maybe he is affected by that freezing of assets that the Trump executive order from December 21st first put into play. Maybe. But anyway, that's all that I wanted to share with you guys today, talking about new Q stuff, a true conspiracy push. YouTube still trying to deal with their conspiracy stuff, and we've got Zuckerberg selling stocks and Rothschild stepping down. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, all 1.3K of you. Again, you'll be able to find this video on this channel and my main channel as well. And in fact, when I do put it up on my main channel, go ahead and just give it a click, even if you've already watched it, because that main channel is still shadow banned. So I would definitely appreciate, even if you don't want to watch the video, might not float your boat, still click on it just to get those videos back into the analytics and get that channel back into the search engines as well. So anyway, cheers everybody. Have a wonderful day. I'll be checking in soon. Peace.